Madison, Trevor, I want to expand on an idea that you've already shared about what's brought you in here. The the post office and the bill paying fight that occurred. So give me the real quick version again of what happened this week around that particular issue.
Well, basically what happened is I had to go to school, and I told her we need to have these bills in the post office by 5 o'clock today. And she said, okay. I come back home after a really, really hard day, and she didn't do it, and she didn't give me an excuse why. And I, tried to get her to tell me why, but she just wouldn't tell me. So.
Okay. And then for you, Madison, what was going on?
He had said in the morning that the bills needed to get dropped off, but one of our kids was home from school sick today. And so I was taking care of him, and I didn't want to leave him and run to the post office. And so I didn't make it there. And when he got back, he saw the mail sitting on the table and just got really angry that I hadn't done it, and didn't give me a second to explain, and just started lecturing about responsibility. And I kind of shut down.
Okay. Now, typically when a couple is engaged in a fight, it's about that fight and more. If it was just about mail and just about bill paying, you guys would resolve it really quickly. But that's usually attached to something else that is never really addressed or included in the conflict. So if you want to think about you have a fight, and I'll just call it the mail for right now, or maybe I'll call it bills. Okay. Now, my guess is that fight, that conflict that occurred this week, was embedded in a bigger picture. So not just this week fight with bills and mail, but that triggered something that has already been going on for maybe months or years or decades. So if you want to put that one in a bigger circle, and we'll just call that conflict. Okay, so what is this thing sitting in the middle of? This bill mail fight triggered us because of what?
I mean, obviously, it's, I guess I would say it's communication. Maybe, like, she just won't talk to me about some things, and if there's an issue and I wanted to talk, if I want to solve it, she just won't talk to me about it. And I, maybe that's
Or
it, or
micromanagement.
Okay. Let me see if I can help you guys out a little bit here. Trevor, when you saw the bills on the table, what did you feel?
I mean, at first I felt, I was upset. I felt, I guess belittled a little because, I specifically said to take that to the post office, and it didn't move at all.
Okay.
And I was very upset and just frustrated, and it just made me feel like she just doesn't listen, I guess.
Okay. I put 3 words in there: upset, belittled, and powerless. I needed something to be done, and it wasn't done. Is that fair?
Yeah. I mean, that's it.
Okay.
You know?
Now, Madison, when Trevor got upset that evening when he saw the bills, what did you feel?
I felt misunderstood, pretty disrespected, and a little bit scared.
Okay. Okay. Now let's see that there is this big circle here that's called conflict. And in this circle rests a fear of being misunderstood and a fear of being disrespected and scared. And in this circle rests being belittled and feeling powerless. And let's say this is just like this is an environment. And then we have a relatively small event that happens. Some mail doesn't get into the post office on time. Like, it's not quite like a nuclear explosion. It's not quite like cancer. It's in the course of 1,000-year history, that missed letter to the mortgage company or to the power company probably isn't going to change Western or Eastern or world civilization a great deal. But for our house and for that day, like kaboom, it was a big explosion. Probably because all this stuff was already there. So it's like, it doesn't take much now when we have all this dry grass to set the hill on fire. Is that a fair picture about what things look like here? Want to add anything to it?
No.
Okay.
Looks good.
Now, Madison, you've already talked a little bit about your family, and the part about your family around you needing to go up to your room and kind of like just be out of the conflict. Was there a time when you were a kid that you felt misunderstood, or you felt disrespected, or you felt scared? What was that?
Yeah, I think I didn't always, I guess I still don't have awesome communication with my parents. They were good parents, but I grew up in one of those homes where you didn't always openly express your feelings, and
Okay.
and if I ever kind of branched out and did, it was usually received wrong, like,
Okay.
and so I would feel really misunderstood and disrespected because I felt like I couldn't come clean about what I was feeling
Okay.
with my parents.
So it's like, if I talk, if I share, if I'm vulnerable, then what?
Then I'm judged and sometimes told to share less. I
Okay.
guess.
Okay. Trevor, have you seen that judgment piece? Like,
Yeah, like, you know,
coming from your in-laws, from her parents, like, is there much of an openness for Madison to say, no, Mom, I don't want to do that?
No, I mean, you know, if something, I know if something difficult is going on, because I mean, I've seen it, you know, because their parents are, you know, dealing with like retirement and all that stuff, and I know when something's going on, she usually just likes to, you know, try to keep far away from it.
Okay.
You know, I mean, yeah, I've noticed that.
Okay. Now, Trevor, you've described a little bit about growing up and being the oldest and having to care for a mom who was not responsible in her role and a dad who was absent. So it sounds like a lot rested on your shoulders to make sure everything always got done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It did. Yeah.
And that if something didn't get done, you were the wall between family functioning and family disaster. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes. Yes, that's a fair assessment.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Madison, have you seen some of what that looks like?
Yeah. He gets a lot of pressure from his siblings and his mom. And if he doesn't step into that role when someone else needs him,
Okay.
it's hard for his family, and I think they need him.
So what I'm hearing here is Madison, you're coming to the marriage with if I speak, then I'll be misunderstood and judged. Trevor, you're coming into the marriage saying, I have to be responsible, I have to be perfect. If everything is not done according to and if I'm not making sure everything is done, there'll be serious problems that will come from it. And you're carrying both of those patterns into this marriage, around which, Trevor, I'm hearing you say, I have to make sure that I am not powerless. And Madison, I hear you say, if I'm misunderstood, I'm going to withdraw because it's just too scary. Is that fair? Is that a basic, like, sort of picture of what's been going on for a long time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Would you correct it, fix it, adjust it in any way to make it more accurate for how you guys have danced together for years?
I think it's pretty good.
I mean,
Pretty accurate.
yeah. I mean, powerless is, I mean, that's, for me, I think, just going back to how I grew up, and if I feel that I am powerless, then I guess I'm just, you know, it makes me keep going until I absolutely can't anymore. And, you know, I've been like that for ever since I can remember.
Okay.
You know, and yeah, you know, it's
Okay.
yeah.
Now, let me conclude this picture before we move on to the next idea. That idea of you marrying the high-powered individual, the one that will be responsible, the one that will make sure things are done correctly. That sounds like that was really important for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like, too, you married into a a family, and you chose a wife for whom calm was an ideal. Calm was very important, and it seemed like that was really important to you.
Yeah, it was.
And now we have this. How do these two family systems come together and pay our bills on time most of the time, and not have a major marital blowout when they happen to be a day late? Is that where we are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.